It's been a day of political drama in Denmark to rival anything on the TV series Borgen. The Danish centre-left coalition, in power since 2011, has been plunged into its deepest political crisis by the investment from Goldman Sachs in the state-controlled utility Dong Energy. That led earlier on Thursday to the Socialist People's Party, that's one of the three members of the minority coalition, to withdraw from the government and for its leader to resign. But Helle Thorning-Schmidt, she's the Danish Prime Minister, well known for her selfie with Barack Obama, the leader of the Social Democrats, has vowed to carry on in government and to carry on with a two-party coalition that by itself only holds a third of the seats in the Danish parliament. Now, the deal with Goldman has been very controversial for a number of issues, but perhaps first and foremost it's simply just down to it being Goldman. This is the infamous US investment bank derided by a Rolling Stone journalist as the vampire squid, and its involvement in a state utility has really gone down poorly with the Danish public. The centre-left voters that voted this coalition into power weren't happy. But there are also three specific things that were at issue with the deal. But the main one is the unusual veto rights that Goldman got under the deal. Now, the Danish Finance Ministry revealed fairly recently that Goldman would be asked for approval on a number of matters, and no other investor would have these veto rights. So if Dong wants to change its chief executive or finance director, if it wants to make major acquisition, or if it wants to sell new shares, it needs to ask Goldman first. That has obviously proved controversial, but there are two other issues that have come out in allegations, revelations in the Danish press. One is the suggestion that Goldman might not, after all, have been the highest bidder for this stake. And the second was that the companies that Goldman will use to own this stake, and to be clear, it's not Goldman itself that will own the stake, but funds controlled by Goldman, so third-party funds. But the companies that would own the stake are registered in tax havens such as the Cayman Islands and Luxembourg. Now, this certainly doesn't play very well in Denmark. Now, Ms. Thorning-Schmidt has been embattled almost since the day she took power in 2011. Centre-left voters were very dismayed. She broke a number of campaign promises and she passed things like the budget with the support of the centre-right opposition. So they felt that the government hasn't really been acting as a centre-left government should be. But Ms. Thorning-Schmidt is very much trying to be a modern social democrat. She's somebody that believes in the welfare state but understands that there needs to be a lot of reform if it's to carry on, despite the fact that Denmark has the world's highest level of income tax rates. So it's a delicate balancing act that she's been doing, and it's fair to say in the polls at the moment the centre-right opposition get about 54% and the government get 46%. That's probably going to drop after this affair. There's also suggestion that nearly 3/4 of Danes were against the Goldman investment. I think whatever's clear, though, is rather like Borgen, there's going to be plenty of twists and turns in this before the next election in 18 months' time. This is Richard Milne, the FT's Nordic correspondent.